Hey everybody, this is Carly Huntley, and let's jump into informed consent. So, informed consent is a legal and ethical term defined as the consent by a client to a proposed medical or psychotherapeutic procedure or for participation in a research project or clinical study. And in order for the consent to be informed, the client must first achieve a clear understanding of the relevant facts, risks, benefits, and available alternatives involved. And that is from Zurn Institute 2019. So as far as the informed consent that I found goes, it was pretty I'm not gonna say invasive. That sounds bad. It was pretty hefty. It was very hefty. It's about 6 pages long, and it goes over anticipating changes and problems that might occur, such as talking about the risks and benefits of counseling, and speaking of changes as the client goes along, such as changes in professional fees and insurance. What I'm not sure about is it fails to go over the HIPAA regulations. It just gives you a link. And my biggest bugaboo about that is, what if your client doesn't have a computer to get the link? And is it ethically sound to send it electronically since you need a signature, I feel like pen and paper signature of, the informed consent. So that's my question is an electronic informed consent okay? What if your client doesn't click the link to the HIPAA regulations and laws? What if your client doesn't do that? And I understand that this document even says, this is pretty hefty, this is a lot of information to cover, and that's why they put in a link. But it was, when I went to the link, it was only one more page long, and so that'd just be 7 pages. You're already giving them 6, so why not go with 7? So that's my biggest question and kind of bugaboo with this. But it does say the information may be used and disclosed to complete treatment. It includes that of fees and billing, the impact of diagnosis, the purpose of counseling, and a discussion about the expectations from the counselor and client relationship. It also includes information about insurance reimbursement and the logistics of the counseling process. So basically, it goes through psychological services. It goes through the benefits and risks of counseling, saying things like risks may include experiencing uncomfortable feelings, sadness, guilt, anxiety, anger, frustration, loneliness, and helplessness, which I really liked. I really liked that because I've actually been in counseling myself, and I have seen an informed consent that does not talk about that. So that would help me as a client to understand what I was going through was not going to be fun all the time, but that it would be beneficial in the long run. It also says there are no guarantees about what will happen. So I think that's a really good way to kind of cover your butt, because we want to provide the best service to our clients possible. We want them to do well, but if things don't go as planned, we need a way to say, hey, this might not work out. So it goes over appointments and the appointment times, the professional fees, goes over insurance. Pretty much everything that needs to be covered is covered in this. It goes over talking about long-term problems that will be diagnosed from the DSM. And it goes over some confidentiality, like I said, not all. It goes over professional records and parents and minors and how to contact them. And it does have the places, if you're unable to keep yourself safe, you can contact, insert mental health services or, call 911, which I think is great. So overall, I think this has been this is a really good form, I think, except for the HIPAA part, which is still my question. So, yeah, I look forward to talking about and listening to y'all's videos on what y'all found, because I think I found a pretty hefty one, and I know there are some shorter ones out there, so I'm looking forward to hearing y'all's opinion and what y'all did.